What I have here on screen is called a chemical equation. It describes a reaction. In this case, it's a reaction between a salt and a metal, which should look very familiar to you. Your salt will be a tin salt here, but the concept is the same. This reaction makes copper metal right here. Your reaction will make tin metal. If I have a certain amount of copper sulfate, there is a certain mass of nickel metal that is appropriate for this reaction. That's what I'm going to try to calculate. What's the ratio between them? To do that, I use the periodic table. Copper on the periodic table, mass of 64, put G for grams. Sulfur, look this up on your periodic table so you're understanding what I'm doing. Oxygen, now I need a little multiplication because there are 4 oxygens here. O4. That's 4 times 16. That's 64 grams. So now if I add that all up, 64 for the copper, 32 for the sulfur, 64 for 4 oxygens. That is 160 grams total. That's the mass of CuSO4 according to the periodic table. So I can put that up here, 160 grams copper sulfate. Now let me use the nickel. Nickel's easy, it's just an element. Find its mass on the periodic table. I'm rounding to whole numbers. I recommend you do the same. It's plenty accurate. Nickel's 59 grams. So now, how is this useful? What I have here is a ratio. I can put it into mathematics. I know 160 grams of CuSO4 reacts with 59 grams of nickel. But maybe I don't have 160 grams copper sulfate. Maybe it's like you, where you maybe have 18.3 grams of your tin salt, and you're looking for how much metal you need to use. You're probably not using nickel. That's fine, great. You're using something else, but the idea is the same. This is a calculator problem. I will do a cross multiplication. 160x equals 59 times 18.3. 59 times 18.3, that I'll put on my calculator, and I will use the power of algebra to solve for x, which is the mass of nickel I need to use. So here's what the calculator told me is 59 times 18.3, and divide by 160, I get 6.75 grams of nickel. So that's great. I now have not a random number to use, I have a specific number to use. Now I'm writing it on the equation where you can more easily see what I've accomplished. What I've found is that if I use 18.3 grams of copper sulfate, I need 6.75 grams of nickel. That keeps it in the proper ratio, which I found from the periodic table. So for you, this number that you calculate will tell you how much metal you should put into your reaction, and that'll be good.